Here we are. I got some variegated grasses along a fence row, and then some other things. Okay. Hopefully, it should be very nice next year, having a little bit of stuff there to make it interesting when you're looking across my area. Then we're going to walk here to look at some beds that we've made up. Everything's rather humble jumbled this time of year. It's the 27th of October 2020. There we go. These are old silo rings. Silo is where you put your corn chopped, store it for the winter, plant and all for the cows. That would be silage. Or if you put chopped hay in there, it would be haylage. Anyway, in the absence of oxygen, it sort of helps pre-digest for the cows. And this is a little bit of some filberts. All right. Now, we're going to go see some of the other things. It's just a little fancy thing that's up there for fun, right? And you see a beehive. Nothing much interesting, but we'll get over to the interesting spot. Yeah, there you can see my barberry garden. Probably won't find another one of these within a couple of miles of here, so the one and only. Who else would want to put it? Anyway, if people that have rose gardens are rosarians, well then I have barberries. That must make me a barbarian gardener. Yeah, there we are. Isn't that cool? Anyway, that was put in this spring, very early spring. Snow had just come off and we got this ground chewed up, took all the sod off. You can see on the ground, I've been doing some weeding this morning till I got cold and wet and had to come in to have tea and cookies to keep my nourishment up. And these have been trimmed up for winter, so next year they'll have a start to come in and start looking more uniform. There's the other direction. Anyway, we're going to spin you around again from one end to another. There we go. All right. Now, that's the pond that's down from lack of water over the summer. Now we're briskly going to walk down to my lower area, down by the creek. Tell Judy I'm going on the back side of the pond. This is the pond. And it's a man-made pond. It was put in for a place for all the drainage from when we had livestock that would hold all the effluent, settle it out, and that kind of stuff, so it wouldn't go into the groundwater like in the creek that's down here. That's the last thing you want in your creek, is a whole bunch of cow muck. So I plant a wild bunch of cabbage family things here, as you can see, just to be eaten by the bugs. That's the only reason it's here, for the caterpillars. Okay, this is my alleyway. Okay, we'll look at it. We'll come over here by the fence that separates me from the farm. Okay, high tensile wire to keep the cows in when we had cows. And you can see my string of oaks here, red and white, both. And then the next one over is walnuts. All right. So it's going to be oaks on one side, walnuts on the other, and that should be a very good food source for all different kinds of critters out here. Right? The turkeys, the deer, squirrels, and everything else. All right. So we'll look over here. This is another drop off. And I want to put in some kind of area, maybe down in there, to put in bald cypress, which like the wet. And I have a number of species of bald cypress to make a garden. So I'm still debating that. I have a friend of mine coming talk about design ideas for it. And here's another area that we could do it. Just in front of that wood pile, brush pile, if you will, would be a good low spot. That would be good for these bottom-loving, water-loving plants that bald cypress are. And like the hairy loller with its crooked branches, this is a willow that I just transplanted here. It was in the wrong place in the garden. And it will like it here, but it is here for the water loving. And then you can see how high that bank gets right there. Yeah. And there's my tree line, with my little alley. Okay. And the road, there's the neighbor's alfalfa field. Yep. There's our creek. Very low because we haven't had much moisture. All right. Yeah. And then this is another brush pile and stuff that the critters use for making homes. One of these days I'll probably end up burning it, but till I need to burn it, it will stay what it is, a brush pile. For a condo for animals to live in. There's my little place across the creek, little triangle of ground, and the wood I've, instead of making a brush pile, stacked it up to make walls for a pretend cabin or camp that we call Trapper's Camp for the kids when they come out. Put a tarp over it and you can pretend you're out in the wilds, looking at all that. Or a fort, and you can decide whether you want to be the Indians or the cowboys type thing. But here is that long line of trees going up. And this is the fence. And is the grass greener on the other side of the fence? I don't think so. Anyway, here we go. Well, that was that. Thought I'd give you another little video of what it looks like here. And again, I will be long gone when these magnificent trees are 2 and 3 feet in diameter and reaching 80 or 120 feet in the air, and just the most marvelous creations in this world. Trees. And wouldn't that be something if they were around in 400 or 500 years? They will see more than I will. But you have to be an optimist to plant a garden in trees. So, you can also see my birdhouses. Yep. For the bluebirds' nesting boxes. All right. Going back to the house. So, see you later. Bye-bye.